Just to kick things off, just looking at the squad, we have the Euros going on right now, and
Yeah,
obviously there's gonna be a lot of changes happening. A lot of changes that are gonna be happening at the club, but I don't think they're gonna be happening at the pace at which we want it to happen. Obviously one of those big things is transfers. Players coming in, players going out. So I figured, hey man, let's start with a quick sell or keep. You start top to bottom, goalkeeper all the way to striker. I'll mention a
yeah.
couple of players, then you will tell me what you think.
All
Should we
right.
keep this player or should we sell this player?
Yeah,
So with the
yeah.
keepers, usually there's not a lot of movement in the transfer market when it comes to goalkeepers.
Unless you need one.
And I see you smiling and laughing. I don't know what it is, fam. But I think at this point we can all agree that Onana ain't going nowhere. He's
Yeah,
gonna be our keeper for the foreseeable future. Nothing is going to change. So there's not gonna be any movement around the defenders.
yeah.
Starting with the most controversial, Aaron Wan Bissaka. Salo keep.
I literally had a thought. Like I was thinking about this yesterday because I read this article that
Okay.
we might not get it right back. Frimpong is wanted by a lot of teams, and usually
Yeah.
Manchester United we don't succeed. Like we usually win transfers when there's nobody inside the race for the player that we want. So when I
Yeah.
heard that there were a lot of other teams looking into Frimpong, I'm like,
Yeah.
why are we trying to get rid of Warren Wan-Bissaka? Like, I get we're trying to make money, but then I
Yeah.
saw they were try. I don't know which team it was that tried to take a piss. They wanted a combined fee of Scott McTominay and Wan-Bissaka for 21 million, like as a
Nah,
as a
man.
combined. And I was like, what? I'm like, no, 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 no. Listen, this is
Nah.
disrespect. Put some
Yeah,
respect
yeah.
on Wan-Bissaka. Come on. So I don't
Yeah, yeah.
understand this obsession with trying to get Wan-Bissaka because the way I look at it, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dalot is our first choice right back because he seems to tick all the boxes for the modern day wing back that we want or the style that Eric Ten Hag wants. I've
Yeah.
accepted that. Like I think and like he had a very good season last season. Let's not take that away from him. He had a good season. So
Yeah.
I'm not in this camp of like, oh, let's get rid of Dalot, let's get rid that thing is gone because I like them both and they are
Yeah.
both young. And I think that right position, like they can actually make it their own. They have
Yeah.
done it in the past where if one is injured, the other one steps up. The one injured, the other one
Exactly.
steps up.
I would also keep him. I get that Ten Hag wants a more offensively minded, or let me just say a balanced. He wants a more balanced player who can attack and defend. I think the balance lies more with the low than Aaron Wan Pisaka. But I just don't see like something so terrible in Bisaka's game that he should be sold. Sorry, I think he still remains a good asset for us. So having him and Delo in that position, can just work to our advantage. Obviously you'll have to have his established right back, which will most likely be Delo. But there are going to be situations in games where you will have to change tactics, and Bisaka really fits that mold of just
Yeah,
being very defensively sound. He can play the ball very well out from the back, and he offers us a lot of qualities, in that defensive structure. So I think we also answered the question for Delo. So clearly that's a keep on Delo.
exactly. Yeah,
Moving forward to our center back position, which is, I believe, is our most critical position right now that we really need to fill going into the next season because obviously we've lost Varane. Lindelof is just not that level
we'll
to
get
do
Lindelof.
yeah,
Yeah,
Victor Lindelof.
we'll get
So
him. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, he's one player that looks like he's gonna be leaving sometime soon. Harry Maguire is also coming of age. He's reliable, he's dependable, but just not the player that you want to see in the starting lineup.
mm.
Um, what you call this, driving the team to where we want to be. So yeah, man, Victor Lindelof. Let's just go like I've been going. Victor Lindelof, keep or sell.
So it's
Harry
about time.
Maguire,
Keep.
keep. All right.
Yeah,
Lisandro Martinez,
obvious. Keep.
yeah, keep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Johnny Evans, I don't think he's what because he only had a 1 year contract, so he's gone.
Right?
He's supposed to be he's
Supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be gone.
gone. Yes, he's supposed
Yeah.
to be.
We
But
shouldn't
I
even be
don't
having a
know.
conversation about him. He should be
Yeah,
gone. Like, he
yeah,
shouldn't be in this
yeah.
conversation, you know? I don't
It's
wanna see him in the
insane.
training ground, during preseason because, man, I'm not gonna be livid because I already know what's coming next, you know? There's gonna be some stupid announcement if we don't sign the center back, and they're gonna be like, "We're giving him an extension."
Like busy hanging around the Carrington, just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
are you guys signing a defender?
Dude.
I'm here. I'm here. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Evans. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hawa,
yeah, yeah.
inconsistency. Arabat.
Yeah.
We don't want. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want. Like, dude.
yeah.
And you know what, Dave?
Yeah.
For me, these, I don't have a problem parting ways with players. Like,
Okay.
you see, with Evans, I'm saying
Mm.
this jokingly, saying like I would like him to go, but deep down,
Yeah.
like I still want him to hang around if we are not planning on getting players in those positions. Like, I
Yeah.
still have PTSD. Like, I know I shouldn't have it. I know I shouldn't have it because this is a new regime. This is a new whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm starting to get the feeling that there are certain positions that we might not fill in or bring in new players.
Yeah.
And if we sell a player that is currently there in that position, for example, Chile Casemiro right now is tipped to leave or whatever. They're planning on selling him or whatever. If we don't
Yeah.
bring in a specialist CDM like Casemiro, one for the future or one just to be a placeholder or whatever, I won't feel comfortable letting go Casemiro. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if there are no prospects of bringing somebody to replace,
Yeah.
bro, like, I feel uncomfortable with it. That's why with Harry Maguire, I said keep, because
Yeah.
instead of keeping Evans, I'll keep Maguire.
Yeah.
Lindelof can
Yeah.
bounce,
Yeah.
everybody else can bounce, I'll keep Maguire. That's
So,
true.
yeah, man.
That's spot on.
Moving on to the left, Luke Shaw, keep or sell?
Keep.
Keep Luke Shaw. You know
I'll be
what?
mad.
Yeah.
I'll be mad to think otherwise.
Yeah.
Hey,
In my opinion, I would move not Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw on. I would sell him. If the right price came through, I would sell him. I honestly would. Yeah, I know, fam. I would. I would. I'm sorry. I would. Like, I would. I'm in my galactical feels right now, man. Once you've hit your prime and it's starting to dip, you need to go. Like, you need to go. You've seen how ruthless Madrid is. Like, thank you for your service, but you need to go. We'll figure it out, you know? And I know he's our most reliable left back. I know that we've got no one else who can stand in that position. By no means am I saying that Tyrell Martial is going to be an adequate replacement for the time being or whatever. But I think
mm,
when you go in the transfer market, we look for a left back replacement for Luke Shaw because the longer we wait, some of these players, it's like
you
tech.
know, you
They're
know
like
what?
cars. The longer you take to sell these products, the value just keeps depreciating by the day. Get it while it's still hot. Get rid of him now. It's nothing personal, but look, man, it's a new era, it's a new time. These guys had that chance, they've had the opportunity, in their time when we're going through a so-called rebuild or rebuilding United, and unfortunately, it just never reached the heights that we expected them to reach. When they came into that club, the time is done. They need to move on. We need to start bringing in new people into this squad. We can't keep holding on to them, and then eventually later on in the future, we're gonna regret saying that, what, we should have just got rid of him when we had the chance. Because now it's either gonna leave for free or we're gonna get peanuts for him. Let's move on to the midfield.
Right.
Um, Casemiro.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I'd also sell him. As much as it breaks my heart,
yeah.
I'd sell him as well. Yeah.
uh,
Um, Bruno Fernandes.
What? Wait, D. You know what?
I'm
I
mentioning the
think I should have
midfield
put
players. I'm not.
I should have put a disclaimer that Bruno is not in this list. Like Bruno is the only person that is
I'm
outside
yeah.
and
No,
we're
I hear
discussing
you.
him.
I'm
Yeah.
mentioning all. I'm mentioning all the
Okay.
first team players. I'm
Okay.
not
Okay.
just you know.
Keep 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 my magnifico. I'm not playing there. No,
Ish.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. Yeah.
Okay. Scott McTominay.
So I watched him yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad because they were looking to him. He was the guy taking set pieces, free kicks. And I'm like, Scott, what are you doing? What are you doing? Robertson is there, McGinn is there, all these other guys are there. But Scotty was the guy who's free kicks,
Yeah.
set pieces, what. He didn't have a good game. But in the grand scheme of things at Manchester United, did I say I'll keep Maguire?
You said keep Maguire.
I'll sell Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'd also sell him. I'd also
I'll
sell
sell Scotty.
Maguire. Sorry, Scott McTominay.
Yeah,
Hannibal.
keep.
Keep. Yeah.
Yeah, he can't go.
Um.
There's no place for him outside of Manchester. Truth be told,
Yeah.
he'll go there,
Yeah.
but he'll have problems. The only place where he can be himself and is Manchester. And I
Yeah.
like his fire, So
Yeah.
I would like to keep him bench player. He's a good player. Fuck,
Yeah.
bench player come on just to instead of Ericsson who's tired, you bring Hannibal. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep.
Yeah. No, true.
Yeah.
Omari Forson. I heard rumors that he wants to leave, so I don't even know if this is even relevant for Salo keep because it seems like he's making his way out the door. But if you wanted to,
One.
sorry,
Paulson knows what he wants.
yeah,
Yeah. He's one of those players that listen, I want to play.
yeah,
And he thanks Eric Ten Hag for giving him the opportunity. Like he said, Coach, let me go
mm,
out there to prove to people to show them what you saw in me. So I'm
yeah,
going out. Because if I stay here, I won't progress. So let me
yeah,
go out, play, so I can show people what you saw in me. That touched me,
yeah,
bro. That
yeah,
touched
yeah,
me. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
All right,
gone.
all right,
Mm.
all right. Jaden Sancho.
Gone. Sack.
Zach.
Sold. Sold. Sell. Sell. Sell.
So,
I will sell.
yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
with Jaden Sancho, there was a point in time, and even
Well, we
fairly
could have kept him.
recently, where I'm like, man, just get in a room, apologize, But when I deeped it, even
Mm.
before you send me that article, I'm like, you know what? In all fairness, um, everybody always has this situation in life where they feel that what they're doing is right, and it doesn't matter what anybody tells them. And even when someone will come out and say, you know, you're being defiant or whatever, and all of this and all of that, and you just want to stick to your guns because you're just like, I don't care. You know what I mean? This is me. I'm not budging. This is it. And I'm like, you know what? In all fairness, Sancho, that's who you want to be. It's fine, And unfortunately, you can't have it your way at this club, so you have to leave, and that's just the end of it. And that's why
And
I'm not gonna hold any grudges, towards him.
no, I don't.
It was fun while it lasted. What had transpired, transpired. We keep it moving. Let's move on. You know what I mean? So for Sancho, I don't want to see him back at the club, not for any malicious reasons, but just for the fact that it's not gonna work out. So he better just move on. All right. Anthony.
Keep.
Personally, for
Keep.
me, Sal,
Keep.
I would sell him.
I want to see one more season from Anthony. Anthony. Anthony went through some stuff last season, and I'm
Yeah.
not like I remember last season there was a point where I was pissed off at him, and I don't know, I just completely ignored everything that was going on in his life. I wanted results because we were losing, they were not scoring, and I was just like, you know what, dude, it's time for you to go. But then I remember reading the article. I remember watching his interview and I connected on with him on a personal level, on a human level, and I could see foreigner from Brazil coming there, language, what, trying to settle in, and then he's got all these things that are happening around him. And I remember reading those articles and listening to that thing and feeling like he was looking for support, especially from the fans, the ex players, because he felt like the ex players were really gunning hard on him. And it's like, you guys are not offering us any sort of constructive criticism. You're just
Yeah.
bashing us. You're not helping at all. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know what we're going through. So, man, on that, when I took that and I'm like, listen, bro, I get it. I get it. And I saw people made fun of you because of you entering with your eye and trying to be a funny staring or an avenger and scoring one goal, providing one assist. Listen, I get all that. But I truly believe he was impacted with what happened to him. And I believe he should be given a chance. We've given a chance to Rashford, we've given a chance to people like uh, Sancho, Maguire. Everybody has been given a chance to be shit. But
Yeah.
the foreigners, when they are shit, we want them out immediately. No. So with
Yeah.
Anthony, for some reason, I'm feeling protective over him. And on top of that, I feel like he's changed his game to please people. He's not free anymore.
Yeah.
Anthony is not playing with his chest anymore. He's playing thinking he's going to be criticized for everything that he does. So with all that being said, I am still keeping Anthony. I still think there's a fucking player there. Still think that there's a deadly winger there, just waiting for him to, you know, do his thing. So with
Yeah.
Anthony, for me, I keep.
Okay. You know
Because
what?
we're
I hear
getting rid
you.
of what's his name? Sancho. We're getting rid of him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we get rid of him, then get rid of Anthony. It's like two wingers. Now we have to bring in two more wingers.
We've got Facundo, and we've got what was
Do
Diallo.
we? Do we, bro? Do we? Like
But you
Facundo.
know what?
Do we?
Before we get into that, just speaking on Anthony, I think before you answered, I was strongly for the option of selling him. And then you started talking, and I heard your points, very valid. And then it put me back on the fence. But
Mm.
I think I'm still swaying towards the side of sell him
Sell him.
because I think I've seen enough of Anthony's game to be like he's not the one for United. And it brings me to the interview that what you call this? Who's this player? Onana had, right? They interviewed Onana. I think it was just I think it was either before the FA Cup final or after the FA Cup final. I can't remember, but they interviewed Onana, and he was
Mm.
basically talking about the difference in the leagues in Europe. He was explaining that here in England they play this sort of way, in Italy they play this sort of way, in Germany they play this sort of way. You know, and I think that also stands true to some of these players. I think some of these players can adapt to different leagues that they go to, and some of them just can't, right? So with Anthony, I would love for him to, play freely and whatever and do all of that and trickery and whatever. But I think it stands true that Premier League has never been the league for that. There have been certain players, individuals here and there that have excelled playing that style of football, but it hasn't really been the bread and butter of the Premier League, of being flamboyant on the pitch and stuff like that, and it working in order for you to get results and how the manager would want you to play and where you need to and what you need to do in the game. So given that, it's either he has to adapt to how the Premier League is played, you know, or if he wants to stick to his style, then he has to hybrid it, or it just has to be 80% accurate all the time, so to say, because if he's not going to if he's not going to excel at adapting, and if he's not going to excel at making his game, adaptable in the Premier League, then it's just not going to work.
mm,
And I do get he has had a rough time, and in all fairness, a lot of players have been through it. Licha was also being heavily criticized the first time he came into the Premier League, and he rose above it. Albeit, yes, he didn't go through, criminal allegations and all of
mm,
this and all of that. And I get it that some situations are deeper than others, and some players' mentalities are not stronger than other players' mentalities. I get all of that. But outside of that, even during his first season, and yes, he didn't get, the full support and whatever, but I think just watching enough of him play just doesn't give me enough, you know, a surety that he's gonna be the one for us. Even
and
coming off the bench, especially when I've seen players like Bo Facundo play, when I've seen Ahmed Diallo play, and they're definitely going to be my preference over Anthony. For me, I would rather see them two start over Anthony any time of the day. So if Anthony's gonna drop down to third option, what's even the point of keeping him? You check because it's very rare that wingers get rotated, and if they do, it's just one replacing the other you know, and not so much. Or I mean, even look at City. It's either Doku or Grealish. It's either Bernardo Silva or at that time Riyad Mahrez. There's not so much options in those type of
mm,
positions. So for as long as we still have Facundo, and I don't know what needs to happen for him to actually, get Ten Hag to recognize him.
D.
Man, I
Okay,
can't
D.
justify keeping Anthony, man.
Listen, that's the one thing that I also don't understand. But here's the funny thing. I just feel like it's about having too many youngsters. Some reason I think it's too many youngsters because
I
honestly,
get I
Facundo,
get that.
like what you said, you made so much sense. Like you were spot on when you were like, if Anthony's not going to try and adapt his game to the Premier League, then there's no point, which is very, very true because the Premier League is different. But he needs to adjust his way of play. He needs to find ways to make things work in the Premier League,
Yes.
meaning that he needs to adapt. Like he needs to fucking say, listen, these guys are closing me down this way. How can I maneuver? How can I find a
Yeah,
way to play better? He's not
he
doing that.
is.
And for that, you're
Exactly.
fucking spot on. And when you said what we're looking for at Manchester United, that's true. Like we've seen enough of Anthony to say that, you know what, dude, you're not doing what we want you to do. Your head is always down. You never pick up your head. You never put the cross in. You're always just shooting haphazardly and stuff like that. So in that sense, I you're 100% spot on, dog. But I feel like because of I don't know. I don't know. I feel the need for us to protect the foreigners more because they're the ones that usually get more stick than
Yeah,
anybody. Now, I'm not saying that
true.
I want to like clarify. Like I still do want to keep Anthony, but the way you explained things to me, there's no point. It makes no sense for us to keep Anthony. If you like the way you explained it to me, because we're like seen so much of this guy that we don't like we've seen enough to know that this is not what we want. Then we've got the likes of Facundo, we've got the likes of Pelestri, sorry, got Ahmad,
Ahmed.
and all the other wingers that we have, whatever. And they are doing the business. And what is the
Mm,
point of having an 80 million player third choice? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't ring. So
yeah,
if you put it like when you put it like that, it makes sense to part ways with Anthony. But I still like I want to see something. Like I want to see our team with no problems, no injury crisis, no drama. The boys are there. Everybody's fit. Most of everybody's fit, and we have consistency. And I want to see how they play. I want to see the boys in this let's just say 10-game winning streak. They're on a roll. Then there's this feel good. I want to see how they maintain it. I want to see who drops off first. I want to see who 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 starts playing pop after starting well. Those kind of things. And I feel like with Anthony, I feel like he deserves one more hurrah because the first season was like, okay, come to the season, he did it, scored his um debut goal against Arsenal. Everything went well. Picked up some injuries, had an up and down season. This season was just almost non-existent. It was like, you know. So
Yeah.
now, how are we able to be like, okay, this player, like, have we really seen enough of him from this two dismal seasons? So I would like
Yeah.
to see one more season with no problems, with everything, not everything fixed, but then just
Yeah.
one more season with no problems, and let's see. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens, and
No,
then,
I get
but
you.
obviously we will be able to tell whether or not we want to carry on with him because we already know that now. But we want to
Yeah.
see if he still has it when everything is now. Because when things are
Yeah.
chaotic, easy to be like, we blame this, we blame this, we blame this, we blame this. Things were not right, had drama, this. But then when there are no problems, there are no excuses, which goes for Eric
Yeah.
Ten Hag as well. If he doesn't have
Yeah.
injuries next season, if he doesn't have nothing, he has a
Yeah.
full team and he plays and we lose, then there's
Yeah.
nowhere to run, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's nowhere
No,
to
true.
run.
True. True. All right. All right. I hear you. Just a disclaimer. I'm not gonna mention Kobe Manu, Rasmus Hoyland, and Alejandro Garnacho because they said those ones are untouchable. So there's no point of even bringing them up. Untouchable. All right. Facundo Pelestri. Yeah, ne? Alright, alright, alright. But yeah, Facundo Palestri.
Love that boy. So I'm keeping, but I don't think we are. He looks like he's
Yeah,
going out. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
No,
why.
true,
And he's doing well for Uruguay. He's done well in his loan spell, scored some goals. But I don't know. I don't know what Facundo needs to do. I don't know.
I
We
also don't know,
disrupted his life by taking him from wait, Uruguay, we
dude,
brought him here, then
dude.
we put him through the academy,
Fam,
send him on loan, cameo here and there, send him on loan, send him on loan. He comes, he plays a couple of games, he does the business for us, puts in some crosses, helps us save some games. We still want to
dude.
let him go. Really?
Ben, this is the problem. Facundo suffers from the problem of, and this is not any fault of his own, of coming into the club under one management and then being managed under a different management. Because if I'm not mistaken, Facundo should have come in during the Ole, just towards the
He
tail
did.
end of the Ole era,
Yeah,
and
he
then
did.
Ten Hag came and found him. And again, it just goes back to that thing of coaches also just have preference. And this is a topic that we're going to get into later. It was something that we spoke of when we are going back and forth on the VNs when we are talking about the manager wanting a certain player, and then the guys who are in charge, I don't want to call them the scouting department, saying that don't get this player, rather get that player. You know,
Mm.
so I think Facundo suffers from
Wilcox.
that, where exact Wilcox. So I think Facundo suffers from Ten Hag just likes Anthony. You know what I mean? And he just doesn't want to see that Facundo is better just because he likes Anthony. You understand what I mean? And I think that's what Facundo is just simply suffering from a manager that just doesn't want to see him because he just has a favorite in Anthony.
That's weird
That's
though.
just that's just the way I see it, you
Yeah,
know?
and it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you pride yourself with this whole academy situation. This is a
Mm,
player that is exceptional. He is good. Like, it's just that people don't want to do it. But if Facundo was to go to an Arsenal or a Chelsea or something, like, he will thrive. He will do
yep,
well at Tottenham. He
yep,
will do well.
yep,
We're just taking a piss because he's a kid. Like, it's
dude,
very easy to overlook these kids because they're kids.
exactly,
Nah, that's bullshit. So
dude.
Eric Ten Hag with Facundo, man, we're not mixing. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah,
There, I don't get it. I
yeah.
really don't. I
Yeah,
don't,
true.
because
I also don't
there's
get
not
it.
one game I've seen Facundo come on and him not make an impact. Not one
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Like, when he's playing and you don't feel his presence or you don't feel his impact, it's a lie.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
lie.
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
So with Facundo, I'll keep.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
yeah, same. Likewise. I would also
yeah.
keep him. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all the midfielders. Unless
Ericsson,
I've missed Ericsson. Yeah, Christian Ericsson. Solo keep.
Sir,
Yeah, yeah, so
Mason
so
Mount,
Mason Mount.
Amrabat.
Oh, fam. I feel so embarrassed right now. I can't believe that I
No,
forgot that we've
in your
got
defense,
Mason
in
Mount.
your defense, in your defense, it's like they don't. It's like they're not United players. They've not played. They've not
Yeah,
played. They've not featured.
yeah,
So in your
yeah,
defense, bro, like
yeah,
I don't blame
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I don't blame you. These
yeah,
guys haven't featured. So fuck. So
yeah. Damn. Fuck, Ben. You know, you just mentioned Mason Mount. It's like,
you're like,
I don't know
oh,
what. I'm like, I thought like I was dreaming or something, like I was living in a fantasy where I'm like, we have Mason Mount. I'm like, yeah, we do have Mason Mount.
and what a
Like that
player he
split
is.
second of figuring it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, shit, we actually do have a Mason Mount in our team. Damn.
that.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck, Ben. You don't know how this has spun me, fam. Like,
I can, I can see it in your face. Like
dude.
oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, man. Mount keep. You know what I mean?
Keep,
Mount
keep.
keep
Yeah,
him. We've seen enough at Chelsea to know that
yeah,
he's Premier
yeah,
League quality. You know, it's
yeah,
just about figuring
yeah.
him out in the league, but otherwise we're
Mm,
good with him. Once his
yeah,
fitness levels are back up to scratch. I mean, we've seen him this season in that one game where he scored when he has been looking sharp. He's
yeah,
been sharp, you know.
yeah,
So he's
yeah.
definitely one player who's going to be I think he's gonna be like an underdog for next season. I think a lot of people, just like myself, are gonna go into preseason and be like, "Wait, what is Mount doing in a United jersey?" Like, you know what I mean? And they're gonna be like, "Ah, shit, we have this guy." You know what I
He's
mean?
our
And I think
player.
he's gonna
And
shock
number
a lot
seven?
of people exactly in a number seven for a matter of fact. But yeah, I think he's really going to shock a lot of people next season. So I'm really
Yeah,
looking forward to Mason Mount.
yeah.
Sofian Amrabat, I would keep him just because of lack in that position in the
Mm,
squad.
mm.
And man, again, it all depends on the fee, you know, because obviously you have loaned him, so he's due to go back,
25?
unless otherwise. So I would get
25M.
Amrabat. Sorry,
25M.
yeah, 25M. You know,
Mm,
25M is perfect. For that amount, I wouldn't mind. Anything more than that, nah, send him back. We'll figure it out. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, nah,
yeah.
it wouldn't be worth it. It really
Mm.
wouldn't be worth it. But fucking Mason Mount, damn it. Yeah, keep him. Keep him. Fucking hell.
Marcus? Marcus? What about
Hey,
Marcus?
Marcus, fucking hell. You know what? Man, I fucking hate this player, man. Ah, man, I the thing is, and I said this before, the only reason why people are so mad this season is because the previous season he hit 30. If he
Mm.
never did that, if he just had his
He
usual
wouldn't
up
be.
and down, we wouldn't
Yeah,
even be having this conversation. We
yeah,
literally wouldn't be having this. We'll be like, keep him. It's
true.
fine. He's a squad player. You know,
Yes.
we know what to expect from him. But because he showed us what he could be, you know, because he showed us what we've always wanted him to be, we were like, dude, finally it has clicked. You know what I mean? We can now go out in the world and be like, you see, we told you. What did we tell you? Remember when we said this
Yeah,
about You know what I mean? See,
yeah.
he made us look like fools this season because we were
Nah,
out there with our chest
yo,
coming into this season, you know, just
yo,
in the streets like this, like,
nah,
watch out, fam, watch out.
man.
And then he
This
comes and
season,
he made us look like idiots. This season, he made us look like idiots, you know. And for that,
yeah.
it's man,
Nah, Rashid took a piss last
he
season.
took
No
a
way,
piss,
man. Man, no.
and all the while, Ben, last season was just default Rashford.
Yeah,
Remember when we were like Rashford has dipped? He hasn't dipped. That's him. That's him.
he's
Season in,
default.
season out. That's him. That's his
That's
default.
him.
Yeah, that's
Ah,
him. Like, why are we even getting
no,
mad?
no,
You know
no,
what I
no.
mean? Why are we actually getting mad? So
All right.
with Rashford, I think what really pisses people off is the
mm,
wages that he's on. I think if
mm,
it wasn't for the wages, everyone would be
mm,
calm about the situation. But it's like, nah,
mm.
man, we're spending too much fucking money on you. You're not performing. The other
Bruh,
players out there who could be starting ahead of you, and the other players you could be having in this squad. If it
and
wasn't for that, wouldn't be having this conversation.
indeed, the other piss take, it's almost like last season was his um audition for his contract. He's like, listen, this season I'm
Yeah,
playing for a new contract.
dude.
So I will score 30 goals. Then you must give me my fucking contract. Otherwise,
Exactly.
then you're like,
Exactly.
all right, this guy
Dude.
goes,
Fab.
this guy scored goals last season, man.
Dude. Dude.
And then now,
It's
but no, this season, nah. Even
yeah.
Greenwood, who hasn't played for 1.5 years, has more goals than Marcus Rashford this season.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable, man.
It's unacceptable,
Unacceptable.
man. It's
Ah,
unacceptable. Unacceptable. And you
unacceptable.
know what? I've honestly, again, Marcus Rashford, another player, just like Luke Shaw, you had your
Mm,
time is up. I know Marcus
mm,
Rashford is young, but he came into the squad young. You know,
mm,
he has been here for a minute.
mm.
And personally, let him go.
Let him
I'm not gonna
go.
regret it. I'm
Yeah.
not. Like I said, if he
D,
wants to go to Arsenal and score 100 goals, let him go do that. But I'm done.
can I throw you a curveball? Just a
Yeah,
curveball question. Out
yeah,
of the box kind of question. If Jesse
yeah,
Lingard was still at Manchester United, forget the form that he's on right now, because obviously the form that he's on right now is it has been affected with everything that's happened in his life. You know what
yeah,
I mean? He's not playing
yeah,
the Jesse Lingard way. He's not happy in his life. He had to settle for Korea, so he's just
yeah,
not cool. But the Jesse Lingard that we know and love
yeah,
and appreciate, the serious
yeah,
Jesse, not the jokey
yeah,
Jesse, no, the serious footballer. Do
yeah,
you think he would have had a huge impact for our squad this season? Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I was trying to think about Jesse Lingard's impact at,
yeah.
in that midfield. He's the anyway. What do you think? Like, do you think in this squad last season, do you think he would have had an impact? Because
Oof.
he wouldn't have
It's
been
tough.
injured. First of all, number one, he
Yeah.
wouldn't have been. He would have been fit.
I
It would have just
I
been
I
a choice. It would have just been a case of choosing whether you want to start him or not, or play him or not.
no. So I wouldn't start Jesse, but I think he would be a huge impact off the bench. Like how Garnacho was a huge impact for us off the bench. Not last season, but Ten Hag's first season. I think it holds true with Jesse Lingard. I think with Jesse, he would have been a powerful impact off the bench, impact player off
I,
the
I
bench,
I
but
I feel the
not a
same way.
starter.
Dude. I
Yeah,
feel the same way. I do.
yeah,
Like, just bench option, but obviously they don't want to
yeah,
bench. But it's fine. It's their business.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
Okay, no,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I just
yeah,
wanted to get that out because I was
yeah.
thinking about it. I don't know why it was bothering me, but yeah.
Yeah.
What's the next player?
The next player. Oh, so we've agreed Rashford sell, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
We
if you
need to
can
clear
get
the
the
books.
the right the right price for me, I think
Yeah.
Rice is about
We should
65,
start bidding him
70.
to we should start bidding him to PSG. Show them highlight reels of his 30 goal
Please
season. You know what I mean?
let,
And being like,
let
yo,
me
man, this is your next Mbappe. You know what I mean?
uh,
So
show him the
we
time
need to
when he
start selling.
destroyed PSG.
Exactly.
They're like,
Exactly. And
I
those
can do
guys will
this
be
for you.
very comfortable giving him the same money that Mbappe was earning there. So
Easy.
it won't affect Marcus Rashford's financial situation.
No,
So yeah,
no,
man, we should start
no.
making, start selling him off to PSG. But yeah, I think who else after Marcus? I think that's it because Anthony
That's it.
Martial is leaving,
Mm,
Rasmus Holland's untouchable,
mm,
and that's basically the whole squad.
mm.
So, but yeah, man, I never thought this would take longer than I expected it would take. But yeah,
Hey,
those are just some of the players that we just you know, thought that we can
yeah.
keep at the club, and then that's
Mm.
how we move from there.